Hello, everyone, and welcome back to arguably the most important lockdown diaries we've had during this time. Grant Hepburn, GolfRSA CEO, thanks for joining us. It's been some time since our first chat.
Thank you, Wade. It's good to be back. I think we know a lot's happened since then, but thanks for having me back.
Yeah, and Grant, I think all our viewers can see there was a little smile starting to break out there. The 12th of June is a significant date for golf because we are going back to play. You guys have released your statement that golf is open, subject to the terms and conditions, which is in your release. Talk us through a very complicated and at somewhat times confusing time for the game of golf and its return.
Yeah, Wade. Look, I don't know if it's a smile or a grimace. It's been a very complex time, to say the least. You know, it's been a massive challenge for the team at GolfRSA and the other golf bodies. But you know, we believed in the process. I know we received criticism, but behind the scenes, there's stuff you can't talk about. The process that we were following with the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture was an extremely positive one. They were the whole way engaging with us from day one in the right way, in a positive way. And, we felt it was the right thing to do. The golf bodies wanted to stick with the process and do the right thing. Part of the challenge was really that we needed to wait for these new directions to come out in relation to the regulations. So here we are. You know, our discussions with government, our meetings with them have led us to a scenario now where, you know, because of all the work we've done, everything we've put in place, the risk mitigation strategy, the preparation that we've given clubs, the fact that we've bought this Health Docs app for the industry that all of our clubs and facilities are on, so we can give this information back to government pretty much at the push of a button so that we can satisfy definitely the most important part, which is saving lives. I mean, that's really, when you think about the task of the National Command Council and the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, that's the priority, save lives. And we believe in that as well. We need to save lives, mitigate risk. And from our very first presentation, that's what we did. We explained how we could mitigate the risk. We could control that throughout the country, control the numbers of golfers, control the times they arrive and leave. Having this application that the whole country's on really takes us to a new level in that respect. And we engaged with professors that were advising the Department of Health from the very beginning. They told us exactly the process that we needed to start putting in place. I'm talking about 5 or 6 weeks ago, before we even spoke last, I think. So that's what we've been busy with, you know, amongst other things. But preparation has been key, so that we know now that these directions are out and in line with the regulations. We know that clubs can comply. They'll be sending us their compliance documents that will be signed off. They'll tick all the boxes. And, we can get back to saving the industry. And what I mean by that is we have to save these golf clubs through, and we've said it many times, we've said it to government, we've said it in our meetings. They've acknowledged that it's the golf clubs we need to save. And the way to save it is through the return of golfers, the safe return of golfers, which we believe we will be doing. It's that return of the golfer paying for his round of golf that allows the club to generate the income to survive. That's how we can then save literally thousands of jobs and an industry that's worth 48 billion rand to the South African economy.
Sure. Grant, you touched on a few things, but it was a very complicated process. There was a lot of late nights. I mean, there has been some criticism that GolfRSA came in for during this time about, not doing enough, etc., etc. But in your previous answer, you kind of outlined all of the preparation that's gone into it. And one aspect that maybe is lost on someone who hasn't followed everything as closely as the two of us is the fact that golf has sort of been the leader of the non-contact sports and in terms of preparing and even engaging with government. Just talk us through that little aspect.
Look, Wade, probably a month ago, we felt, well, not quite a month ago. It's hard to keep track of time in these unprecedented times. We felt that we were disappointed with the initial regulations, which focused specifically on the return of play for a very tightly defined professional. And once we started talking to other non-contact sports, that group grew. In discussions with them, they felt that whenever they spoke to the Department of Sport, they referenced the fact that golf's proposal was a positive one, that we understood the risk mitigation. They also started putting in their risk mitigation strategies. All of them have done that. They have strategies or plans as good as ours. That's for sure. And they said to us, because we were already in the process of discussions with government, they asked us to help us in terms of defining some of those definitions that were in those regulations. So we had close engagement with the Department of Sport and the people that were putting together these new directions. And out of that process, I think that the group of sports looking for support has grown. And it's just good to swap ideas, to know that we're having a positive influence on the outcome for the safe return of non-contact sport. We're in it together.
Yeah.
And exercise is healthy. All the sports that are non-contact believe they can return to healthy exercise through their plans and policies that they have in place, the same as golf does. So we'll all go through the process now of ticking the final box of submitting our application as it says in the directions, just to formalize things. I'm sure that, having spoken to a few of the non-contact sports this morning, they're going to be doing the same thing.
Sure. The one thing in the regulations that have been come out has been this issue of over 60s. Can you shed light? Obviously, you've been involved with this process a lot closer than I have. Talk to us about a golfer who is 61 years old. What's his position?
So, the directions talk about the age of over 60, but it's in reference to matches or tournaments. We're not going to be having tournaments. We certainly aren't going to be having them for over 60s. Golf is an exercise. It'll be for people to exercise. And that's essentially what we'll be doing. I think that tournament golf for any age will return further down the line. We'll take our direction from government in terms of what those regulations are and what those are at level 2 or level 1 or whatever it is. And I think that's essentially where it'll take place. So right now we're comfortable.
Sure. And then the other aspect is this return to golf, as you've mentioned before, is about safety. It's about preventing the spread of the COVID-19 virus, which is still a massive problem in South Africa. What is your message to golfers who are returning to golf? I know that you put in the regulations, the Health Docs app, etc., at big cost to your organization on behalf of getting someone like me back onto the golf course. But what is your message in terms of golfers and playing by the rules?
Yeah, look, we know that our golfers can be responsible. We know that the clubs will be responsible. We know that the golfers will buy into being scanned and go through the monitoring process as is needed. We'll keep that information through the Health Docs application. It'll feed back to the central database, which you can provide to government at any time. And we just also want the clubs to, which I'm pretty sure they will, is buy into the aspect of saving people's jobs, especially amongst the vulnerable sector. 85% of our 40-odd thousand people employed at golf facilities are from that vulnerable sector. So, we've spoken about right from the beginning about repurposing caddies or casual workers. If a caddy can't carry the bag due to COVID-19, they could be used as spotters or to help us with social distancing and that type of thing. So we've been talking to clubs the whole way through this. The golf unions have been talking to the clubs. We've been planning and preparing for this this moment for a long time. So, I think that the time it's taken has allowed us to do the preparations, it's allowed us to put things in place. The criticism about things taking a long time, that's because of processes. Not many people, you can't talk about what's happening behind the scenes openly. People are writing emails and saying things on social media, but they're uninformed, and unfortunately you can't really discuss things that are being discussed at a certain level. So one has to just bite the bullet, trust the process. But people forget quickly that golf is only supposed to return at level 1. Here we are at level 3, and through the hard work that the Department of Sport has done with the federations and with us, and making us understand that we need to have risk mitigation plans in place, we've been able to accelerate that process and move up to a scenario at level 3, which is fantastic for everyone. It's fantastic for the health of the nation. Healthy exercise in a safe environment also reduces the comorbidities. And that's one of the very big factors in terms of fighting the virus. So, we believe as a sport, as a sector, can help government with this. And that's our whole engagement with them has been around assisting them, assisting the department, assisting the National Command Council in stopping the spread of this virus, flattening the curve, and doing it in a healthy, safe way.
Great. Grant, to finish off, this has obviously been a hectic time. I don't think you're quite going to be putting your leave form in just yet over the next few days and weeks, but it may be a sense of vindication or something like that. The fact that golf is now able to play. To your colleagues, to your staff, to the people that you've interacted, what is the message that you want to portray at this time?
Yeah, Wade. So I think that firstly we need to say thank you to those that believed in us and stuck by us. I've had an incredible team. I'm the person who sits here and my face is on the screen, but it's I'm not the one doing everything. That's for sure. There's an amazing team behind us. Varner Kelby from the PGA, Chris van der Merwe from Club Managers Association, Thomas Apton, Salwa Nathan, the Sunshine Tour, the other golfing bodies, all the unions and the presidents, the club managers. There's a massive number of people that go into these preparations, the discussions, the preparation for the discussions. And then obviously the general golfing public who believed in us, who stood by us, who were patient. It's a monumental task for everyone. It's incredibly difficult times. The stress of being in lockdown for so many people, the number of people that have lost jobs, not only in the golf industry, but outside of that, the knock-on effect in terms of frayed tempers and frustrations. We're aware of all of that. We're in the same boat. We've got colleagues and friends and family who are suffering in the same way. So, we sympathize or empathize with the people that were losing patience and questioning our process. But we believed in the process. We know that we knew that we were being listened to. We knew that we were being given assurances. And that is what made us stick to our guns. And that's why we are, in a positive position today.
Great, Grant. Thank you for your time. We really do appreciate it. And on behalf of the golf fraternity, we want to say thank you to GolfRSA, to all the bodies you mentioned. You guys have done a phenomenal job, and we look forward to putting the days of no golf behind us, and getting out there and supporting our clubs, paying our subs where we can, obviously, and keeping jobs in the industry. It's a fantastic industry, and one that we should all be proud of. You guys put us back to work. Now it's our turn to go out there and do the business. Thanks for this.
Thanks, Wade. I think it's, that's just the last thing is I really do. I know, and I hope that people continue to support the golf clubs. The more they do, the more jobs we can save. Mm-hmm. We've expanded our GolfRSA Help Fund to help the caddies and the vulnerable workers. We're putting another R1 million into this soon. The SAGDB, the Golf Development Board, we're putting money in there as well. There'll be another announcement related to that pretty soon. The national squad is putting money into theirs as well into that fund, and we're launching an auction within the next day or so. So, you know, it's important that, look, the job isn't done. There's still people out there who literally can't put food on the table. We need to not forget that. This isn't all about a celebration. This is a process. This is a step in the right direction. We need to help, you know, those who need help. Many people do need help. We're going to start with the most vulnerable and just keep doing as much as we can. And we're pretty sure that the golf community will assist us in doing that.
Great. Thank you for that.